Hi everybody, welcome to today's class session. You're going to see that we have changed up the camera layout so that we can hopefully see the rest of the students today per your feedback from last time. So just to make sure that everybody's here, please make sure just to post an emoji in the chat section here on Blackboard Collaborate Ultra to indicate that you're here. All I'm doing is asking you all to indicate how you're feeling today via an emoji. So I see Obi is feeling cool. Maybe he's thinking about the beach, or it's just really sunny outside.
It's bright outside.
All right, it is pretty bright outside. Let's see. What you got for an emoji, Allison? Hit us with a good emoji. And I know Britt is just getting logged in right now as well. All right, I like it. All right, so Britt has joined us now as well, so she's going to post her emoji while I talk about the game plan for today. Okay, so we are going to speak about creating training content for target audiences. We're going to have some discussions and some activities throughout class. And all right, so right there, the issue that came up was that we had some feedback going. So just make sure when you do log in, just to make sure to mute your microphones and your speakers as well, especially if you're in here face-to-face today. So we're going to talk about creating training content for our target audiences. The resources that we're going to need for today is going to be logging into Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And I sent you all the link for today's session in case any of you got lost along the way. You'll probably want to make sure that you have headphones every day. This is going to be a way to make it so that in some instances you might be grouped up with somebody who's actually remote, and the headphones are going to block the whole feedback problem that we just experienced a couple of moments ago. Just make sure that during class, just to try to use the hand raise feature when you have questions or would like to add to the discussion. And then try to keep your mics closed unless you're called upon, just to avoid a feedback loop from potentially occurring. So I'm going to ask Britt today to be our volunteer to just let me know if she sees any hands raised. If we eventually reach a point that we're just kind of in a general discussion, that's okay to just kind of speak up during those times, especially as long as everybody in our face-to-face portion of the session keeps their speakers muted. We should be all good. All right, so the homework we'll talk about later on, that's going to be doing storyboards and shot sheets. That'll make a lot more sense once we start getting through today's lesson. So if any problems come up along the way, feel free to raise your hand as well. All right. Oops. All right, hold on one moment. Just gonna make this bigger for everybody. Okay, can everybody see a slide session labeled creating training content for target audiences? I got a yes from in here. You can give a verbal yes or no from Obi and Allison.
Yes.
Okay, good. Obi, you good?
Check mark.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let me see if I can kind of keep that little chat here along the side. All right, so we're going to talk about creating training content for target audiences today. Okay, so first off, let's just start with who exactly makes, who creates training videos?
Anyone can.
Yeah, I mean, anyone has the power to create a training video if they wish. Are there certain companies that are more likely to do it than others?
Education.
Okay, education, that's a good one.
Tech.
Technology.
Walmart.
Walmart, yep, okay.
Entrepreneurs.
Okay, entrepreneurs. Okay, very good. Yeah, Walmart came from Obi. I think that's Britt was echoing that in here. Um, why do all of these places create such training videos?
Because people don't know what to do, don't know how to do what they want them to do for things like Walmart,
Okay.
corporations.
Okay, so as Britt said in here, some people don't know how to do certain things. Do you all want to add anything from the remote side?
Allison has an answer.
Allison, let's see, get consumers to buy their product. Absolutely. If I know that there is an actual manual with the product I'm buying, I'm probably going to be more likely to buy it. And yeah, imparting knowledge or procedures, that's great. So those are definitely all reasons why training videos are made. So, what is included in a training video? What do we normally see, hear, or let's say experience?
Demonstration.
Okay, demonstrations. We may see images, as Allison typed in. Okay. How-to, step-by-step, absolutely. All right. And finally, who is a training video for?
Anybody who doesn't know something.
Anybody who doesn't know something, that's very true. Any other more specific areas that you all can think of, my remote folks? Consumers, okay? Students. Oh, new hires, absolutely. So just like we have safety videos or other demonstrations as faculty members, those could be included as well. Awesome. So with our training videos, this is going to be pretty common corporate work. A lot of times they do this in-house, meaning that the company may have an employee who's dedicated to doing such materials, okay? So for example, in our e-learning department here on campus, Danny helps us out a lot of the time with creating training videos, along with other instructional designers who are training on certain elements as well. In many instances, we're trying to educate our audience. So what's a training video that you all could think of that educates an audience?
I'm not answering first this time.
Okay. that is perfectly fine. Remote folks, the pressure is on you. You can type or say anything. She said that she didn't want to go first this time, so she was putting the pressure on you all to come up with a training video that you know that's educated the audience before. Maybe that you've seen, or maybe even you made yourself.
Recipe videos.
Recipe videos. Anybody else? How to prepare something like food. Okay, how relevant for today. All right. With these training videos, a lot of times we're going to demonstrate things. So for example, in like a how to prepare something like food, you might show somebody how to dice a tomato, for example, as I was watching on Worst Cooks in America last night. With these training videos, they're typically made for specific audiences. When you create a very specific audience as a company that you're sending your training video out to, what do we typically call such audiences? There's another term that you may have heard before.
Target audiences.
Yes, as Britt said, those are target audiences, meaning we are targeting a specific demographic. Okay? So Allison kind of has an example here talking about Kohl's and JCPenney are now showing videos modeling their clothing. It's helpful when buying online. Okay, that's very true. Okay, we've even seen this now where, for example, if you go onto Amazon, you can use augmented reality and be able to see the product in the space. So it's a way to instill confidence in our buyers with that.
It does not work that well, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work well in some instances. Some of you may have experienced that with wearing glasses if you've ever done Warby Parker before. I know I had some bad experience with that where I had to return them for that. Excellent. And as Allison says, she still sometimes returns clothes anyways.
I put a clock on the table to see how big it was, and if it was on the floor, it was clock size. If it was on the table, it was like this big.
Well, I mean, technology.
Yeah.
They still got to work on those algorithms. But don't worry, I'm not asking you all to create an augmented reality video today just yet, maybe towards the end of the semester. So now we're going to take a look at a training video. This one is going to be provided by a company called Tasty. They commonly make such videos. Just make sure to keep your mics muted when the video is playing to prevent feedback. All right. So we've got a video there by Tasty. Hold on one moment while I get back to you all. Okay, yes, I like the comment of a proper, that it is tasty.
It is proper Tasty, the British version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know too much about that.
Hey, cooking's a good thing.
I might have an obsession. Might be.
So now the question is, let me double check to make sure I'm sharing that with you all. Okay. Who was this video for that we had here? Who do you think that Tasty video was meant for?
People who want to cook Indian food fast.
Okay, people who might want to cook Indian food fast. Anyone else? Let's see, just keeping that chat open. How else do you think you might just stumble upon such a video? Think about if you're getting home from work and you're trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to cook? Maybe you're going to go to the grocery store as well.
Meals with chicken.
Yeah, meals with chicken. That might be another way that you may stumble upon a recipe like this. Okay. The next question is, where do you typically see such a video? Okay, yeah, Allison, quick and easy meals. So where do you see this type of tasty video? Where would you all seen it before, you think?
I've seen that something like that on Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. Anyone else?
Instagram.
Okay. So a lot of things that are gravitating towards our mobile. Okay, as you see here with these little icons, our mobile and our tablets, that's where we're typically going to see something like this. As Obi stated, you might even see it on YouTube. You might see it on Google. Okay? It could even be embedded as an advertisement in some instances because they actually use copyright-free music, as I discovered yesterday when I was working with this on the internet. So they can't actually get copyright violations for the most part, which is sort of neat when it comes to such types of videos. So these are things for you all to think about for training videos as well. So before we even make our video, we need to think about our target audience, okay? So with our target audiences, we need to narrow down who are we actually going to try to train with our videos. So the two things that we normally focus on are going to be demographics and psychographics. So what are demographics? These are probably the ones you're more familiar with, especially with it being 2020. You may be very familiar with demographics. Yeah, census data. So what types of things are asked on the census of you?
Age, marital status.
Sex.
Age, marital status, sex, could have even like income levels and things of that nature. All right, so those are the things that fit into our demographic definition. Any questions about that? Okay. All right, thank you for that. How about psychographics? And keyword here, the key prefix here is psych. So what does psych infer? Feelings, emotions. Thank you, Allison.
Beliefs.
Beliefs in some instances. Okay. So if somebody, let's say, values as well. So for example, there are certain videos that are not going to be geared towards specific populations. Okay. Because if, for example, let's say you're part of a faith that does not eat chicken. Well, a tasty video about chicken is not going to help you at all. And that's not going to be good target marketing. All right. So with this demographics and psychographics in mind, we typically are going to define what we call a primary audience and a secondary audience. Which one do you think we actually want to target first? Primary or secondary? Primary. Okay, kind of gives it away. All right. The secondary is obviously the second audience that you want to work with. And then finally, any audience beyond that is typically called a tertiary audience. So the delivery platforms we typically see for training videos are going to be TV, film, and then online. Okay, and sometimes they even break down online into different devices like tablets, phones, and whatever else might come out in technology. So why does it matter to have this knowledge, you think, about where people are consuming content and what they believe, feel, maybe their sex, anything of that nature?
We don't waste resources hitting people that don't need it.
Okay, not wasting resources. You want them to use your product. Okay, so in terms of resources, what's another way what kind of resources were you referring to when you said that?
Ad revenue, like if you're pushing it out to an audience and you just push it out at a bunch of different places that the people who are going to watch it aren't going to watch it.
So when you push it out to all those different places, do you need to spend something to get to those places?
Cash.
Yeah, it's about money. Okay, a lot of times it's about money and just manpower. You have to have employees working on all of these videos. You got to spend the money to put it in those specific destinations as well. So those are some things to think about when it comes to your target audiences. So what I'd like you all to do now is I'd like you to take the spend money to make money. That is true. So for the next 5 minutes, I'd like you to write down everything that you think goes into a training video from development to delivery in your notebook. Okay, it can even be on a Word document, however you take your notes. Feel free, you can write with bullet points, complete sentences, or even feel free to create a diagram if you wish. Okay, and when you're done, just feel free to type done in the chat, and that'll help me know that you all are ready. All right. So now I would like to kind of talk about what you all included. Okay, so as you see here, I broke it out into 4 different stages: pre-production, production, post-production, and then distribution. All right. So what items did you all write down that you feel would fit into what we would call pre-production for a training video?
Analyze the audience.
Okay, analyzing the
research.
audience.
Market research.
All right. Also referred to as market research, as Britt said in here. What else might you have done in pre-production for your training video?
Scripts and storyboards.
Scripts, storyboards. All right. Anything else y'all like that? Production needs. Okay, so maybe you're arranging for renting out the camera that you might need. Let's say editing equipment, getting your crew, all of those sorts of
Hiring
things.
talent.
Okay, hiring talent, even if it's just a voice actor or somebody who has good hands to show in, let's say, a tasty video. All right. Production. What things fit into there that you all wrote?
Props.
Props,
Recording equipment,
recording equipment,
editing equipment,
the editing equipment and process,
talent,
talent. Okay, they're going to have to act on location.
set equipment,
Set equipment. All right. Maybe even
Images,
what's that?
images,
Okay,
images, music, text.
Okay, so images, music, a lot of different things going there. You might even need to you might need to rent out a location to actually even film this video in too. All right. What would text free from errors? Absolutely. How about post-production? What types of things start fitting in the post-production world? And you might have some things that repeat, and that's okay.
what are the
Editing.
final edits?
Yeah, any final edits that you need to make for the video. You might even have audio editing that you need to do.
Overdubbing.
Overdubbing. Maybe you're going to translate it to different languages in some instances as well.
Captioning, ADA compliant, setting it up for that.
Captioning, any sort of ADA compliance. All right, and so we got a couple people with the closed captioning. All right, how about distribution?
The marketing strategy.
Okay, this is where you take that market research that you did earlier on and you start applying it. So you may still be finalizing the strategy of things, but this is the point where you're probably deploying this video to various platforms. Okay, so you might be calling Facebook and saying, how much is it for a 1-minute spot on a certain number of pages? Okay, so this is where you're going to start paying probably big marketing firms and advertising agencies to do this work. Okay.
Also, if you've got social media presence, you can have your social media team post things if you've got an existing presentation space.
Yeah, so if you have an in-house social media team already, this is a really good time to utilize them as well. That's a good point. All right, so now I'd like you all to just take a couple minutes and go and just in your notebook, please indicate what you feel the muddiest point is so far in today's discussion, the clearest point, and then the most important point. Okay, and you see, just got a little mix up right there. And for those of you who are comfortable doing so, please share what your muddiest point is. Because to be honest, if it's muddy for you, it's probably muddy for somebody else as well. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to address the post-production part first. So post-production, this is where you are going to be taking all the video clips that you record on a given day, you're going to bring that into an editing system, such as Adobe Premiere, Avid Media Composer, and there's many others that are out there. But basically all it is you're taking all your video clips, and you can think about them like pieces to a puzzle. You're trimming them up a little bit, and then putting them together. All right. The distribution channels, that's going to be wherever we're going to send our content out to, so that people can view it on the other side. So Instagram, Facebook, let's say YouTube, maybe even YouTube TV, okay, or even Vimeo with its new TV services that it has could be available for you as well. This is the part that normally costs a lot of money, to say the least. And then regarding markets, secondary and tertiary. Secondary is typically just a more defined audience than it's not a primary audience because it's not your number one. Tertiary is really your number two. Secondary is really your number two. But tertiary are all those other audiences that you might have a chance of getting to based on where you decided to market and distribute your content. Okay, so thank you for that feedback. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to do a quick little activity. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put you all in groups to complete this content here. So I'm asking you to come up with a plan for creating a training video focused on preparing a meal with your partner via Collaborate Ultra. Sorry for the little typo there. All right, so I'm going to just put you all into breakout groups. Real quick. Oh, I'm not going to do that to you guys today. All right, so and reset and one. Oops. Oh. And oh. Duh. All right, so group one, I am going to send you all this screen. Group one, can you all see the PowerPoint screen in there? Okay, cool. All right, and group two. Okay, group two, I just wanted to make sure that you had the screen as well. So just take the next 10 minutes and work on completing these items. And I'd recommend to put these in a Microsoft Word document and make sure to save it. Don't try to save it inside your breakout group because content in breakout groups goes away when we go back to the main room.
So you don't have to worry about your O button. Sure.
Back to... Oh. Oh. There we go.
That's my girl.
All right. So now let's have each group is going to get a minute to pitch their idea. Yes, I am recording my screen via screencast. So, okay.
Unlike you, Allison.
So let's so whichever group is comfortable going first, we'll have them go forward with the pitch as I adjust our little simulation camera so people can see where we are at once again. All right. Okay. So who wants to go first with their pitch? Just a quick 1-minute pitch of your idea.
Okay.
All right.
Good job.
Our face-to-face group's going to go first.
Okay, our target audience would be working parents, working moms and dads, who want to create healthy meals for their families, but they need it to be family friendly, so healthy meals that kids will like. Because they're working parents, we also need things that they would be able to make in like 20 minutes. So that's kind of the idea behind what our training videos would be, showing them how to make a family friendly and healthy meal
Okay.
in 20 minutes. So to do that, we would need scripts, storyboards, we need the ingredients for the meal. We would like to add text over the video,
Okay.
and have it sort of mise en place where they pick up the thing and it's there. Yeah, I watched too many. So Amber Rose, my hero. So those props and setting for that, the kitchen setting, and editing software to be able to add text and music. We want a person that they can identify with for the intro who represents the working parent.
Okay.
Production equipment, people who would operate that equipment, editors, camera people, a director for the person in the intro especially, the staff for production staff and distribution staff, market research, and cash.
Okay.
The distribution plan for the channels, and we thought also, because it's a cooking thing, we might reach out for donations, contributions for brand rep or things like spices or bowls or something like that to get somebody in on that. I talk a lot, Allison.
All right. So, good there. And yeah, I mean, even just an example to kind of build on what Brett was saying is that if you watch Worst Cooks in America, I remember that if you look
Religiously.
back at the the pans now when they first start, it's sponsored by Wayfair. So there's a lot of different brands that can go into that, and that can cut down on cost. So now our remote group, it is your turn to make your pitch.
Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and talk. We are going with steak, and that means cooking steak. And so it's a broader audience than just parents. We're going with carnivores, anyone who likes to cook, anyone who likes to possibly cook outside with a grill. We all know that meat on the grill tastes great if you're a meat eater. So we're concentrating on meat eaters, not vegetarians. Adults, we don't want kids playing with fire. So we're focusing on adults who are carnivores.
Yep.
And we want to, have appropriate sounds, something similar to a tasty video. We don't actually have to have a person or anybody talking for that matter. We just want to have appropriate sound, so it will entice them into buying the steak and wanting to cook the steak and following my recipe. So it'll be something similar to the tasty video, very short, sweet, quick, something they can do outdoors, relax, have a nice piece of meat. So that's it.
Okay. So, how do you all feel about the number of steps that you included in each one of your respective videos so far? How many steps do you think it would take to do each one of your training sessions to cook that meal?
Didn't get that specific. Depends on under 20 minutes, I'd say no more than 12.
Okay, so maybe 12 steps from our face-to-face group. What do you think it would take from remote group? What do you think it would take to do your steak? How many steps?
I don't cook steak that much, Obi. I don't know, 10 maybe?
Yeah, I'd say probably from initial, room temperature, prepare grill, and then let the rest, probably a total of, 5 to 10, depending on if you want to take step by step on getting the grill or comparing gas to charcoal, you know, you can get real in depth.
Okay. So it sounds like that it depends on the level of detail that you want to go into and how much you want to communicate to your audience. So this is going to be an area where I want you all to focus when it comes to the homework eventually, which I'll speak about soon, in terms of thinking about the exact number of steps, because that's going to decide how you all go through the entire production process, most likely for your training videos eventually. And what's the desired outcome for each one of your respective videos?
We want to have a meal that is going to be intriguing and interesting for our viewers, so that they watch it and they're, you know, willing to go out and try it for themselves.
And also, if it's something that they like and we get enough viewers, they come back and watch the next video, which increases ad revenue.
Yeah, so you love people to return. As Allison's posted in the chat, you also want to have maybe them buy the actual product, use the recipe and whatnot. But if you bring them back, that's where you can even make more revenue for your company. Excellent. So now what I would like you all to do, as we're about to wrap up in just a couple minutes, is I'd like you to send a message, and it could just be a private message to me. And for those of you in the future, just if you want to send a chat message directly to me, if you click the ... next to my name, you'll see a send a chat message. Because I see some messages are being posted in the everyone board, so that's just a future discussion type thing. Okay, so it looks like some really interesting things that you all would want to learn more about in the future when it comes to things like editing, and then potentially talking about distribution as well. So I'll make sure to keep that in mind for future lessons. So, for homework, what you all will do is you're going to continue working with a partner that you worked with today to create storyboards and a shot list for your training video. This assignment is going to be due, my apologies, this is supposed to say Wednesday, July 22nd. Okay, and I'll make sure that's posted onto BlazeView along with this PowerPoint as well. You're going to, the storyboards and the shot list, your templates are going to be sitting there in BlazeView for you, and you'll submit it to the Dropbox labeled training video documents. If you all have any questions, please email me at my colwalker@valdosta.edu account. But that's it for today's class. It's good speaking with you all. Take care.